Hi everybody. Hi. Hello. Um oh, how are all my dearest degenerates doing today? Hi everybody. Hi. Hello. Hi. It's been quite a bit, hasn't it? it's been I, it's been quite a bit of time since the last stream. Wouldn't you agree? um yeah. Yeah. um um yeah. How how are I must say though, before I get absolutely scatterbrained again, I must say, it, it feels quite, dare I say, good to be able to actually stream, on my usual day, on my usual day, on my usual stream time, yeah, yeah, it's because, the last time I did was, like, a month ago, wait, no, it was like 2 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah. But yeah. How are all of my dearest degenerates doing today? Um, are you guys are you degens doing good? Have you been conducting any fascinating research? Because um, I have, I have. You know, no, not, um, not to pat my own back, but I have, I have, um, I've been getting into into some, enticing, thing, some very enticing things that are probably going to label me as a madman or something. Yeah, I've been mainly I say that because I've been what do you call it? I've been working on the next video, and yeah, it's coming along good. It's coming along good, taking a lot longer than I thought it would, but overall, it's going, as they say. um, and yeah, it's definitely going. It's definitely, as I said, going to paint me in a. It's going to seem insane. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to seem insane, crazy, the ramblings of a madman. But when does anything that I say not sound like a rambling, the ramblings of a madman? Even right now, I probably sound like an absolute nutcase, a whack job, if you will. Yeah. How how I, I know I asked you guys how you guys are doing. How what you call it? How is your DJ? How was? Okay, hang on. I need to slow myself down. I need to slow myself down. See, that's a problem that I have. See, that's a problem that I have. Is I try and I I'm getting scatterbrained. I'm getting scatterbrained. Um, how were your guys' holidays? How are your guys' holidays? How are your? Was it good? Did was it filled with a lot of jolly and cheer? I hope so. Even I hope so. I hope it was. Even if you didn't celebrate anything, which is perfectly fine. I hope you still had a wonderful day all the same. Hello, Miku Jazz. Hi, hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome to the first ever stream of this year. Of this year. Yeah. Yeah. First ever stream of 2026. Ooh. Ooh. This is where it all began on this year, on this specific year. Gosh, I still, I was kind of thinking when setting up the title for the stream, I was kind of thinking about, I was kind of thinking about, what do you call it? I was kind of thinking a little bit about my debut stream that I had last year. I don't even remember what month it was. But yeah. I remember very little. I remember very little from it. Just the fact that I just remember the fact that I just remember the fact that I showed off my um unconventional art skills with a self-portrait of myself. I showed my interest in stuff on old crummy pieces of paper, and that's kind of it. That's kind of all I really remember from that stream. It was kind of a fever dream. It kind of felt like somewhat of a fever dream. Yeah, you could say. But yeah. Yeah. Not gonna lie though, since it's been quite a while since I've last streamed, and by that I literally mean it's been like 15 days. Yeah. Yeah, I got kind of nervous, admittedly. Admittedly. I got a little nervous. And that's kind of why it took a little longer. I mean, then again, when has any stream of mine not started like 5 to 10 minutes later by accident? It's not even because I want to. It's not even because I want to start it late or I'm being lazy. It's because literally I start to literally the reason why a lot of the times my stream is like 10 minutes after the scheduled time is because I just get so caught up in my own head trying to set up, making sure that there's no scuff to be seen, making sure that there's no scuff, or at least that it's very minimal scuff, that I kind of just focus too much, and then I look at the time and it's like 11:06 and I'm like, ah! and then I'm like typing away. I'm like setting everything up even faster, and then I'm like I'm looking at it with insane visual perception. I'm like yes, that's it, and then yeah, and then by the time I actually click start streaming, it's like 11:10. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Very fun, very hectic. I feel like a stress ball slowly getting unsqueezed. Honestly, I can relate to that sentiment. I can relate to that sentiment. I kind of was very I kind of also had a very hectic week because of the holidays. Well, actually, it's been a couple hectic weeks, but yeah, I also had quite quite a hectic time. I don't. Thankfully, thankfully though, much like you mentioned, I kind of am starting to feel a little bit normal, if that's even possible. Yeah, after the fact. But yeah, um um yeah, but yeah, my holidays overall were good. They were good. um I would say, I kind of um it kind of passed by fast like a blur in some ways. Yeah. Oh, I just remembered something. I just remembered something. So I just remembered something. So I kind of mentioned this at one point. I kind of ordered myself a maid dress as a gift to myself, purely for science and research. And that's arriving today. I need to be on the lookout for it. I need to be on the lookout for it in case to make sure nobody snatches it away from me. To make sure nobody snatches it away from my researcher hands. Yeah. Imagine how funny it would be. I kind of, you know, that kind of raises the question, and I'm kind of very. You ever wonder, Obviously, nobody wants to have their package stolen, right? But have you ever wondered, what that person would do, or, or like how they would even react to the thing you ordered? Especially if it's something very niche and something very, like, unconventional. You know? Like, imagine that they steal your package, right? They steal it, they snatch it, they go all the way up to your door, acting like they live there, and then they snatch it. And then they get home, or they go to wherever it is that they go, and then they open it up expecting some sort of like actually valuable thing, or at least something that they can actually use. And they open it up and it's a maid outfit. it's a cute oversized maid outfit. Genuinely, what would they do? Like, would they get angry at that point, that they basically wasted their time? Because I feel at that point they would probably I'm thinking too hard about this, but just the thought of somebody stealing my my maid outfit and then opening it expecting something good that they can actually use, and it's just a maid outfit. It's just immensely humorous. Yeah. No, if they decide to actually wear it, bonus. That, honestly, I can respect that. I can respect that. if kind of out of like the sheer I can respect the fact that they were like, well, might as well get used to it and wear it anyway. But yeah, yeah, instead of just throwing a hissy fit. But yeah, yeah, I'm definitely going to take photos of myself. I'm definitely going to take some very scientific and very very scientific and very what's the word? Very scientific and I'm going to take a lot of scientific photos and post them. That's what I'm going to do that at some point. Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. It should be good. Let's go. Wait. Ooh, lovely. Wait. Yeah. It should be very lovely. The main dress should be very lovely. Hope, should be very lovely. It should fit me, excellently, fantabulistically. It should, unless those measurements were a clear lie. Let's go, first stream. Let's go. Let's go. Not the debut stream. No, just the first stream of this year. The first stream of Disclosure this year. It's like in fine print this year. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, but hi, La Beach Beans. Yeah, La Beach Beans. How are you doing today? How are your holidays? How's yeah, how are you doing? The first stream of this year. Yes. This is where it's all going to begin this year. How did streaming for Sort of Degenerate start in 2026? Well, it started like this. You're watching it right now. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. They were quite nice. Lots of turkey. Ooh, turkey. I haven't had turkey in, like, I want to say a year. Maybe a year and a half. I don't eat turkey very often, but that's good. That's good. Mainly that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm I I would I would for I would to I would I would say the full scientific name of a turkey, which I do know what the scientific name of a turkey is. It just eludes me right now. I just don't remember it quite well. It's like fuzzy. Yeah, but yeah. I don't eat turkey. Yeah, but I don't. I haven't eaten. Okay, let me slow down. I haven't eaten turkey like the way that like baked in an oven, and like that I haven't eaten in like 7 years or something like that. Yeah, because technically the last time that I ate turkey, like a year and a half ago, it was like smoked. It was like barbecued, that kind of thing, that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of the people that I know don't really make turkey. Mainly because turkey takes a long time to make, and it's also very like it's kind of turkey feels like one of those things, at least from what I've been told, that it's kind of like you either know how to make it or you don't, and that can either really make or break it because if you do know how to make it, it's like amazing. It's absolutely like it. You will absolutely experience one of those food anime moments where you just have like um 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 a foodgasm. And then if you don't know how to make it, it's just very dry and very like chalky, like you're eating chalk. A bird made of chalk. um as long as it's not being delivered by Easy Code Delivery, it should be fine. Yeah, yeah. As long as it's not delivered by as long as it's not delivered by them, it should be fine. It should be fine. Yeah. Um. Um. Am I? Although, although I, am I? Although I did say that quite a while back. Am I delayed? I might be delayed. Well, if I am delayed, what's a sort of degenerate stream without a little bit of scuff? Yeah, but as long as it's not as long as as long as it's not Easy Delivery Company, because if it is, it's probably somewhere on the highway somewhere or something. It's probably like in a ditch somewhere. Yeah, but it just flew off the truck. but but um but yeah, hopefully it gets here safe and sound. We eat it every year because my family somehow always gets 3 of those. Oh, you're one of the. Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard that there are people that especially that make multiple turkeys, that do multiple turkeys, like 2 or 3 or 4, depending. Depending. Although, if you think about it, a turkey's a very big bird. It's kind of like one of those. How big is it now that I think about it? How big is a turkey compared to um? How big is a turkey compared to like a chicken? Like just a normal chicken. No, I'm not very good with numbers, and I'm definitely not good with percentages, or any sort of times. But I'm going to make a guess and say that it's like 5 times larger than a chicken or something. That sounds about right. That makes sense in my sloppy wet thinking organ. Yeah, but yeah, um, yeah, what was I going on about? Before I started talking about turkey, I was rambling, jibber jabbering about something else. Oh, right, the maid outfit, right? I was talking about that. And about hopefully it fits. Yeah, hopefully it fits. Because let me tell you, let me tell you as a let me tell you as a very tall let me tell you as a let me tell you as a femboy that's taller than the average femboy, it can be kind of tricky. It can be kind of tricky. buying 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 yeah buying buying feminine clothes, that's what I'm saying. It can be kind of tricky. It can be kind of very tricky. Yeah. And that's why, for that reason alone, is why I keep 3 tape measures on my desk at all times. Because you never know when you might need to measure. Because you saw a very cute outfit that you can't stop thinking about. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I told my friends, my IRL friends that. I remember when I told my IRL friends that I keep like 3 measuring tapes on my desk at all times. They made it seem like it was something. They made it seem like it was something strange. Or not strange, but they made it seem like I was. they made it seem like I was. Like I was measuring. Beats me. But yeah. But yeah. Three measuring tapes? Yeah. 3 measuring tapes. Is that not a perfectly sound amount of measuring tapes to have in a small in a small location? in a small area? I mean one of them is a heavy duty measuring tape. Another is like an actual for actual clothes measurements. And it's in inches. And then there's another one that's purely in centimeters. Yeah. So no matter what the measurements of a specific garment are, I am always ready for anything. Yeah. 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 I will say something that absolutely hurts me is when I find an absolutely cute outfit that I absolutely would totally 100% wear, and if I might be so bold as to say, rock, if I, as they say, but unfortunately, they don't have for a 6-foot person. They don't have for a very tall person, and I can't actually wear it. Gosh. If I am truly a tragedy. But gosh, if I was actually very good at sewing, which I do like sewing, but but I'm not the best at sewing. I'm still very much learning. But but if I was actually good at sewing, there would be nothing stopping me from making any cute outfit that I please. The power. It's kind of like that one thing I said where it's like with the power of sewing, I could have any plushie I want. Yeah. If I was really good at sewing, which I'm not. But yeah, one can dream. A researcher can dream. Centimeters and inches for centimeters and inches for conversions. Let's go. Yeah. If it throws inches at me, I got it. If it throws centimeters at me, I got it. If it throws well, no, that's it, isn't it? I was going to say something crazy, like if it throws yards at me, I got it. But no, I don't. I don't think anybody's tall as a yard. Wait. How big is a yard? Now that I think about it. I don't know. I'm starting to get into the actual math side of it, and I don't know. It's like, what's next? What's next? Are we going to talk about how the what's next? Next thing you know, we're going to be talking about the close and the square root of 2/3 of an axis off of its quarter or something. Yeah. Hello. Oh, hello, Tib. Hi. How's it going? How are your how were your holidays, Tib? Are you doing good? Is everything fantabulistic with you? Um, um, I hope so. I hope so. um, ooh, you are 6 foot? Yes, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. I'm a very tall femboy. I'm taller than the average femboy. And yeah, and not to, not to, not to be too bold. I don't want to be too bold, but I tower over most femboys. Yes, I'm 6 foot. I'm a very tall. I'm a tall femboy. Yeah, and because of that, it can be kind of hard to find feminine clothes that actually fit. Yeah. Infinite blow high. Infinite blow high. Infinite blow high. I thought about that and that sounded great. But you know what doesn't sound great? You know what doesn't sound great since we're on the topic of blow highs? What I mentioned the other day, I'm still slightly, I'm not going to lie, I'm still it's a shame. It's a really golly gosh dang shame. The fact that there are no blow high thigh highs, or even blow high, technically like actual proper blow high knee socks even, is a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. But yeah. Yeah. Earlier this day, not earlier this day, earlier this week, I kind of had that thought. I was like, are there blow high, thigh highs? And I looked them up, and no, there's not, actually. There's not. Those don't exist. And if the only thing I could find was like a very poorly rendered, shark just stretched across an entire foot. Across an entire sock. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. And it just does not look, it didn't look like it had a lot of care put into it, I'll say that. But yeah. I'm telling you, I'm going to be honest though. If IKEA if IKEA ever decided to I know they don't. I don't even think IKEA has any clothes. I'm going to be honest. But if they ever decided to release limited thigh highs of blow high, they would sell like hotcakes. Yeah. A yard is about a meter, I think. A yard is 3 feet, I think. Oh. 3 feet. Oh no, that actually does make sense. Because when I mentioned the whole yardstick, the whole yard thing, I kind of thought of a yardstick, but I didn't know how tall a yardstick was. So I was like, beats me. Beats me. I don't know. I don't know. Holiday's good. Holiday's good. Oh, that's good, Ted. That's good, Ted. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that you had a happy holiday. Yeah. Yeah. I only have one, but keep it close. I'm really I'm really bad at estimating things and always need to look at it. See, hmm, 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 hmm. Yeah, I, I understand that. I'm actually not bad at estimating. like when it comes to estimation, weirdly, I'm not bad at it. I'm not terrible at it. That's not to say that I get it right, but I'm not. But I'm not terrible at it. I'm not terrible at it. Usually, if not always, I am kind of pretty much on it, and maybe just off by a little. But yeah, um, but yeah, um, um, I'm 6'2". Oh, 6'2". 6'2". 6 foot. TOO. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, yeah. Another 6 foot person. Yeah. There's only, since you know what's so funny? I remember. I'm not going to name any names, but I remember there was this one time when there was this one time another there was this one other time when a femboy another femboy made a tweet basically calling anybody who saw it short and questioning why they're so short. Now let me tell you, I've never gotten that sort of comment ever in my life. That I've never been called short. and so I remember I wrote I wrote something like in my entire time that I've spent on this giant spherical elemental space orb, no one has ever called me short. you know yeah, and I actually kind of looked and checked, and it turns out, yeah, he actually is taller than me. It's very rare, but I guess it can happen. That guy is 6'6". Yeah, that guy is 6'6". So technically, yeah, I am short compared to him. But gosh, gosh. They should make shark thighs that look like a shark is eating your legs. I know, right? It's not even that. I know, right? They should. They really should. It's not even that hard of a concept, really. Like if you think about it, right? It's not really that hard of a concept. Like it's all they have to do. All they have to do is just kind of like the foot part is like is like the tail, and then and the whole rest of the sock is just the actual shark, and then and then the part that actually like squeezes and creates that thigh pudge, and the opening, basically what I'm trying to say, just have kind of like a shark tooth design on the end of it, and there you go. It's not that hard of a concept yet. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Not yet, at least. Although I did kind of see I did kind of see somebody who was kind of making a bunch of shark stuff, a bunch of shark clothing pieces that weren't actually real yet. They were kind of just brainstorming ideas, and we're gauging how much people liked those ideas. But yeah, they're unfortunately not real. If they were real, I would actually be building the ultimate blow high outfit. The ultimate the ultimate shark outfit. Imagine this, imagine this. Imagine a shark jacket. A shark shirt. A shark shirt. A shark skirt. A shark thigh highs. Shark platform boots. a shark garter. and then lastly, and I know this does exist. This actually does exist. And I have one. A shark keychain. Oh wait, no, wait. Actually, you know what I just remembered? I saw the same person that I'm talking about also made a design for shark overalls. Yeah. Imagine it. Shark shirt, shark overall, shark jacket, shark skirt, shark thigh highs, and then lastly a shark keychain hanging from the overalls. I would be unstoppable. Yeah, but maybe someday. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. But yeah. Gosh. But yeah. You know, actually you know what's actually kind of a little bit funny? Or not funny, it's not funny. but you know what I actually I have the what do you call it? I have kind of like the streams for February already planned and kind of set in the works. But kind of set in the works, but for this month I have no idea. For February I kind of already have it all planned out in my head for the most part. Like I know what games we're going to play and everything. January I have no idea. And you know what's so funny? Or not funny, I guess, but you know what's an idea I had, but I don't know about it. I kind of thought it was kind of like one of those silly ideas that you have that you don't know, that you aren't sure about, that just kind of spring into your head. I kind of thought, what if karaoke? What if karaoke? I've never done karaoke. What if karaoke? I've never done karaoke. And technically, it's kind of a VTuber tradition kind of thing. It's a very common thing for VTubers to do, a karaoke stream. And I was just like, could I do that? But yeah, I don't know if I'm confident enough to do that, but the thought is there. The thought is very much there. Yeah, the thought is very much there. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the holidays were hectic. The holidays were very hectic. If I might be so bold as to say. They were very hectic, and they were very kind of busy. And kind of also had a little bit of so it also kind of had a little bit of silly hardships. I kind of unfortunately experienced a little tiny bit of self-doubt again in December, but thankfully that's gone now. Yeah. But yeah. One thing though that is definitely one thing though that I will say is that is that wait wait a minute. One um um huh. Anyway, sorry. One thing I will say, that was definitely very actually, yeah. One thing that was definitely very neat, very cool, very cool that that um that that I got that I didn't get at Christmas or the holidays. The holidays. I didn't get it during the holidays. I didn't get during the holidays, but um hmm but wait a minute. Hmm hang on a second. um hmm uh, yeah, that I didn't hmm um hmm yeah, yeah, okay. So so as I was saying, um is it um is it is that on Twitch? What the what the what what the the inappropriate remark that well, the two inappropriate remarks that just got sent. No, actually, surprisingly, it was on YouTube, but for some reason I don't see them on YouTube. Like I'm looking and they're not there. Like I'm looking and they're not there. But 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 the but yeah. They should be on a timeout. the the mean comment. Yeah. No, that was on YouTube, but for some reason I can't see them on YouTube. But the good thing is, because I'm multi-streaming, I was able to see them here, so they should be on a timeout and gone now. They should be gone. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. but anyway, yeah, we're we're here to be silly and have fun. We're here to be silly and have fun. Yeah. And that person clearly did not have that in mind. But anyway, but anyway, as I was saying, one thing that I actually managed to find. Let me tell you, one thing that I did manage to find, I didn't get it for the holidays, but one thing that I did manage to find was that I found it amongst the Pokemon ROM bushes. Yeah, when I decided to go outside one day, I okay, well, I just I just realized that I just spoiled what I just, yeah, I just spoiled it. I found some Pokemon ROM hack cartridges. I found some Pokemon ROM hack, some Pokemon ROM hack cartridges. I didn't even know those were a thing. I didn't even know those were a thing. I didn't even know those were a thing, and then I saw them, and I was like, huh. Because I was familiar with like a couple of them. I was familiar with like a couple of them. The Pokemon games, like Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red and Blue, and Leaf Green. But I saw these cartridges for the Game Boy Advance, that I'd never seen before in my life, and they were kind of yeah, they were kind of, I was enticed, admittedly. Yeah, I was kind of enticed, admittedly. Yeah, but yeah, they were kind of hidden. I'm not even going to lie to you. They were kind of hidden. They were kind of hidden away. Like all the Pokemon ROM cartridges were hidden away, in like a very like they were hidden to where you couldn't really see them, and I was like, But I saw that something was there, and I was like, what's this? And then yeah, it turned out to actually be. It turned out to actually be that. Tons of them too. I'm gonna see. I can even show you. Hang on, I can, because I posted it in the Discord. I can even show you because I posted it on the Discord. It's if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's it was the if you haven't seen them. Oh, here you go. Yeah. Yeah. These right here were the ones that I managed to get. These were the ones that I managed to find when I decided to go outside for the first time in like a week. Yeah. I guess whatever puts the chat on screen. I guess whatever puts the chat on screen grabs them before automod filters whatever gets to them. Huh. Wait, I guess whatever puts the chat on screen grabs them. Oh right, yeah. The what do you call it? The chat box, yeah. I mean that's yeah, that's Streamlabs. That's Streamlabs. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Streamlabs does get actually display things before automod actually takes it away. Yeah. But I mean, I guess the good thing is that because I'm multi-streaming, and I actually was able to actually see it and actually like, you know, do something about it. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, these are the ones that I managed to get and have been playing one of them. I haven't tried all of them. I've been playing one of them specifically. I've been playing one of them specifically Pokemon Snakewood, the one that's right there. Am I the one that's right there. Pokemon Snakewood, which I actually didn't know. Pokemon Snakewood is actually apparently one of the most not liked ROM hacks ever in like the history of Pokemon ROM hacks. Mainly because let me tell you, I kind of did a little bit of research on Pokemon ROM hacks because I was very much I kind of got, you know me, I kind of got very like intrigued to the point to where I was like, this is very interesting. I need to know as much as possible about Pokemon ROM hacks. And then I went down a little bit down the Pokemon ROM hack rabbit hole, and it turns out Pokemon Snakewood is one of the most not liked Pokemon ROM hacks for the reason that it's very imbalanced with its battling, and it's also very edgy. It's very it's very, as they would say, edgelord-esque. It's also very unfair in a lot of ways. Freshly harvested video games straight from the vine. Yeah. straight from the ROM hack bush. Some ROMs from the ROM bush. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. There we go. They are on the screen now. Yeah. But yeah, apparently Pokemon Snakewood is very unfair because the person who made Pokemon Snakewood is kind of started it, and then they kind of just halfway through just gave up on it. like they started it because Pokemon Snakewood is like the whole premise is, what if zombie apocalypse, but in Pokemon? Specifically, I think in the world of Pokemon Ruby. Yeah, Ruby and Sapphire, and yeah, they kind of had that premise, and they went with it, and it's not too bad at the start, and then everyone kind of agrees that halfway through he just kind of lost sight or passion for it, or he kind of just stopped caring, and he kind of just made it intentionally really hard. Including, from what I hear, they even put stuff that only he would know, like puzzles that only he would know. So it's kind of like, kind of really unfair to like anybody who doesn't know him, who doesn't know them. But yeah, yeah. If it gets to that, I'm still at the start. But if I ever get to any point like that, I'm. Here's something to know about me. I don't like to cheat, and I don't like to use guides unless absolutely necessary. And from all the things that I've heard about that game, yeah, if I come to a point, I won't hesitate to use a guide. I won't. But apart from that lovely game, I also got Pokemon Rocket Science and Pokemon Mirage of Tales. I've heard nothing but good things about Pokemon Mirage of Tales. The only thing about that one is that it's not finished, from what I hear. And it can be buggy. Yeah. But this is how creepypastas start. I know, right? I know, right? Now, I kind of when I actually bought them, I was like, this is how those creepypastas about the fake games containing haunted games I was like, this is how those creepypastas started. This is how they started, probably. Somebody probably just saw a game that looked like a beloved game of theirs, but not. And they got curious, and it turned out to be a ROM hack that somebody made. And then they got perturbed and made a creepypasta about it. It all makes sense now. It took years, but I eventually found the truth. Yeah, but yeah, I think if anything, I think I'm not going to lie. I think Pokemon Snakewood is like the only one that's actually supposed to be like horror-esque. Pokemon Rocket Science and Pokemon Mirage of Tales aren't, from what I understand. But yeah, and these were only three, and these were only three of the many that were there. Of the many that were there. I was originally only going to get one, but then I was like, how often do I see these? Hardly ever. What if I never get a chance to buy it? What if I never get a chance to buy the physical cartridge again? And so yeah, I bought three. But there were many others. There was Pokemon Sovereign of the Skies, I think it was called. Pokemon Dark Rising, which is another very not liked one. Pokemon Quartz, Pokemon Radical Red, Pokemon Brown, Pokemon Crystal Diamond version or something like that. And then yeah, and I think even like I think I even saw Pokemon Oh, Pokemon Lazy Green. Yeah, I think I even saw that. But yeah, yeah, very, but yeah. I'm going to play these on my Nintendo DS Lite, and I'm going to hopefully have a fun time. um, just one thing though, and I need you teachers to be really honest with me. Um, would you be um would you be mad? Would you teachers be mad if I told you that technically these are my first ever Pokemon games that I'm actually playing? would you would you teachers actually be mad if I told you that this is technically these are technically my first Pokemon games that I'm playing? Yeah, because technically I've never actually played a Pokemon game. Like an actual one. Like an actual one. It's not to say I'm not familiar with Pokemon, because I did watch the movies and a bit of the anime. When I was a lot younger. And I did collect Pokemon cards. But I've never actually played any of the games. I've never actually played any of the games. I told one of my IRL friends this about how I got these, and he legitimately got a little bit upset. He was like he actually was like, oh my gosh. I mean, that's great that you're playing Pokemon, you know, I'm very happy about that. But you couldn't have gotten like one of the normal, you couldn't have gotten like one of the regular ones, at least, to start off with. You just went straight for the ROM hacks. and I told him, I was like, and I told him, and I said, but silly ROM hacks though. I found silly ROM hacks, and you're can you blame me? I would pretend to be mad for the bit. Thank you, Tab. Thank you, Tab. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of that's kind of something that happened. That's kind of something that happened. Um, um, as I said, as I said, I didn't get it for that. As I said, I didn't get it for the holidays. This was just something I found when I went outside. All I got, all I got for the holidays was all I got for the holidays was pants. And then all the things that I gifted myself, which was quite a bit. But yeah. You know what's actually since we're on the topic of gift giving and all of that kind of thing, since we're on the topic, I kind of meant to post this on Twitter, but I didn't. And then now, since the holidays are kind of coming to an end, or they kind of are at an end, it's kind of too late. I feel like it's kind of past, but you know something I was going to share on Twitter, or maybe even on the Discord. I was thinking of doing it, and then I just completely forgot, and got busy. I was going to show how I wrap presents, because I feel a lot of people would get mad at me for that too. I feel a lot of people would get mad at me for the way that I wrap my presents. For the way I wrap presents for other people. And technically myself too, technically. You could, but yeah. I've only played like 10 minutes of emulated yellow. Was it good? Was it good? Not going to lie, the one that kind of definitely like if we're talking about like the actual games, um, like actually by Nintendo, um, the only one that actually like captures my attention, like because I never ever hear anybody mention it. I always hear everybody talking about red or blue or leaf green or even silver and gold and ruby. I never hear anybody talk about yellow. I never hear anybody talk about Pokemon Yellow. That's like one of those that nobody ever talks about. I've never heard anybody actually say that I'm like, it's almost always there's like a 90% chance, and again, I'm not good with percentages, but I'm confident in my estimations. There's like a 90%, it's like 90% of the time it's red or blue or leaf green, and then there's maybe like 70% of the time it's like ruby or silver and gold. I never hear anybody talk about yellow, Pokemon Yellow. Yeah, so that's kind of why it intrigues me, because no one ever talks about it. But yeah, um, anyway, what was I going on about? I was jibber jabbering about something, like a lunatic, like a lunatic. Um, oh yeah, I was going on about my the way that I wrap presents. I feel that a lot of people would probably get mad at me for the way that I wrap presents. Or maybe not necessarily mad, but they would just be very... Like, I feel... I don't know, something about it, just... I feel people are going to get upset. But listen... And... Well, actually, I do have the photo, and I can put it up. I have 2 photos, actually, but I can put a photo up. Let me do that, actually. So that I'm not just, so that I'm not just telling, I will show you. Because some people might think, how bad can it be, really? How bad can it be, really? I'll show you. It's this right here is actually a present that I wrapped for somebody. I was going to say this year, but I can't say that anymore, technically. Last year, technically. So anyway, this is how I wrap a present. Now look. That's how I wrapped gifts. That's how I wrap gifts. I just kind of use whatever paper's nearby, and then if I run out of clear tape, I'll get any other tape that I can. I'll get any other tape that I can. I'll get any other tape that I can. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I can actually tell you what's inside that. You know what's so funny? I can tell you what's inside there. It's freaking. It's gosh dang golly gee. It's like a jacket. It's like a jacket. The only reason it's like jacket that was shrink wrapped because I got it on Amazon, admittedly, and it was still like not shrink wrapped. Was it shrink wrapped? It was like vacuum sealed. That's the word. It was vacuum sealed. Vacuum sealed. It was a vacuum sealed jacket for somebody, and yeah. That's the way I did it. Right there. Yeah. I just kind of grabbed because if you think about it, right, if you think about it, right, because well, listen, listen. I know it's not pretty, but this is how I've been doing it since I was a child. This is how I have been doing it since I was a child. And I mean, you know the saying, if it's not broke, why would you fix it, or something like that. You know, if it's not broke, if it works, you know, if it works, right? Then why would you fix it? You know, this works. This works. It's not pretty to look at. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to give you that. It's not pretty to look at, but it works, and that's all that matters. Poor boy. Yeah. 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 I literally did, just because I don't buy wrapping paper because or anything like that. And I just looked around and I was like, I looked around and I have multiple notebooks and things like that. Multiple sketch pads too, because I like calligraphy and writing letters and stuff. And I I remembered I had one with I remember I I remembered I had a lot of notebooks, and I was just like, yeah, that'll do. And then I went, yeah, and then it might not seem like it from the photo. It might not seem like it from the photo. Yes, I know, Miku Jess, I know. It might not seem like it from the photo, but it does have clear tape in certain areas. But I ran out of tape midway through. And I was like, oh no. So then I ran to another part of the lab. I searched and searched, and I found some electrical tape. And I thought, yeah, I mean, it's tape. That works. It's tape. It'll do. And yeah. It works. Okay, it's not pretty to look at, but it works. Yes. Yeah. I will say though, the person that I gifted this to actually did very much like it. They did very much like their gift. You know, they did very much like it. So, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters. But yeah. but yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. There's that. But let me just I'll set this right here for the rest of the stream. But yeah. That's kind of what has been happening. That's what I was doing on Christmas Eve. That's what I was doing on Christmas Eve. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did it on the day of. I forgot about that. Hi Professor. Hi Pancakey. Hi. Hello. How's it going? How are your holidays? How are you doing? I hope they were good. I hope they were good. I hope they were really good. We're just talking about things. Yeah, we're just talking about things. Yeah, about my absolutely exceptional and effective Christmas wrapping ways. As you can see down there, and these are Pokemon ROM hacks that I found. When I actually decided to go outside. Yeah. Ooh, wait. Ooh, look at those fingies. You're not supposed to be looking at my fingies. You're not supposed to be looking at that. You're supposed to be looking at the the Pokemon, the Snakewood and the rocket science and the rocket science and the Mirage of Tails. That's what you're supposed to be looking at. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. Hi. Oh, hello. JM, JM Frog. Hi, hello. How's it going? Hi. How's it going with you? Hi. I hope good. I hope good. I hope fantabulistic even. Fantabulistic even. The holidays were fun. I didn't realize you could go outside. Hey, I do go outside, Pancakey. Not often, but I do. When I have to. when I sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. And I just yeah. Don't you remember don't you remember Pancakey? I mean, as an example, right? Don't you remember Pancakey when for the Halloween stream, I went outside of the lab into like a tunnel, a sewer tunnel or something like that. And then in December, I went outside and stood in the center of a street. Don't you remember that, Pancakey? I do go outside. That's where all the research is hiding. No, that's where all the research is waiting. I'm doing good. That's good, JM Frog. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you're doing good. I mean, you're just gonna throw the paper away afterwards, so... Exactly. You know, exactly. Wrapping paper is a bit of a scam. Wrapping paper is a bit of a scam, if you think about it. if you think about it, it kind of is, in a way. Because you're kind of just paying for paper with a graphic that you're going to throw away. Unless you do something like I don't know, tape it to the wall or something, you know, like they used to do back in like the 70s and like 80s when they still had like wallpaper or something. It seems very strange now, but back then they did that, I think. So I've heard. They would like tape like basically wrapping paper, but like I think more durable to the wall or something. I don't know how they did that. But yeah. Unless you're doing that, wrapping paper is kind of a waste. And that's why, for that reason, and I'm totally not coping at all, for that reason, that's why I used lined paper out of a notebook. Are those official Pokemon games? No, actually, no, they're not. They're not. They're not technically. They're technically Pokemon ROM hacks, as they're called. ROM hack cartridges for the Game Boy Advance, and I kind of just found them when I went outside that day. Yeah, I found them along with a bunch of others. This is basically, and along with a bunch of others, there's like Pokemon Sovereign of the Skies, Pokemon Quartz version. There's Pokemon Radical Red. There's Pokemon Lazy Green. There's even Pokemon Dark Rising, which is not, yeah, and things like that. But yeah. And yeah, it's kind of like Because I kind of went, admittedly, I kind of went down a Pokemon ROM hack rabbit hole when when I found these. I found these, and I originally was going to get one, and then I bought three, and then I was like, I need to find out as much as possible about Pokemon ROM hacks, and when and I got to researching them, and yeah, apparently this is kind of like one of the first iterations of modding a game. This is like one of the earliest examples of game modding. Yeah, in physical form, which I thought was very cool. I thought was very neat. um, wait, the research must be searched for outside. Yes, Pancakey. Yes, we must go outside to conduct the research. And then as soon as that research is collected, we hurry back inside. We hurry back inside. We hurry back inside. I kind of, you know what? I kind of heard a saying one time. I don't remember from what it was. I think it was from a show, but I'm not sure from which show. It's kind of like a saying where it's like, this guy in the show said, "Why would I go outside? I mean, humanity has spent so long to perfect inside. Why would I go outside? Why would I do that?" I don't know from what show that was, but I know that it was from a show. I just don't remember which one. The delays on my end. I'm seeing Tib reply to things like 20 seconds before you say it. Oh, so I am delayed. Okay. I'm delayed on your end, Miku-Jess. Wait. You say that I'm delayed on your end, but is that possible? I'm not sure. Gosh, golly gee. Every time I say that I'm going to like conduct research into the delay, I kind of keep forgetting. But I'm sorry about the delay, Miku-Jess. I'm very sorry. Oh, that's a really cool find. Was it like at a flea? Was it like a flea market find? Were you looking for games? I want to find stuff like that too. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of, it was at a place where it was at a place where technically I did find it in a place where there was a bunch of used stuff for sale. And yeah, there was a bunch of used stuff for sale. And that's where I found them. They were kind of very hidden though. As I was saying earlier, they were kind of very hidden. They were kind of like away from sight. They were kind of like the only reason why I saw them is because they were hidden, but I could see that something was there, and I just kind of stared at it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I investigated, and then I found them. But yeah. The only reason why I'm saying that I found them amidst the Pokemon ROM bushes is because it sounds much cooler. It sounds much more interesting. But yeah. I don't I hope I can find more though in the future. I hope I can find more. I hope I can find more in the future. Hopefully Pokemon Quartz. Hopefully. only because from what I've heard, Pokemon Quartz is very like absurd and strange. And that alone intrigues me. It could very well be bad. It could very well be a bad game, but but I won't know until I play it. Do you collect do, um do you collect retro games? Wait, do you collect retro games other than these odd curiosities? Yeah, actually. Well, kind of. I wouldn't say I collect them, but I definitely do buy them from time to time. Because I actually do have the what's the word? I actually do have the means to play them because I gosh, I actually do have the means to play them because I have a ton of old game systems. Like I have a Nintendo DS Lite, I have a Nintendo 64, I have a Nintendo Game Boy Advance, which is not functioning anymore. Although I haven't checked it in years. I honestly should check I honestly should check it because the last time I checked it, it kind of was many years ago. I still have it. I still have all of my Game Boy Advance games, all of my especially because oh gosh, I just remembered something embarrassing. I'll tell you about. I just remembered something really embarrassing, and I'll tell you. Right? let me just. I'll tell you, but gosh, I still have the Game Boy Advance, and even the charger and everything. But I just remember that one day it just didn't start up. But at the same time, I was very young. It very well could just be the charger, and I just don't know. I really should check it one of these days. I really should. Yeah. Oh, and also, I have an actual and I also have an original Game Boy as well. An original Game Boy as well that I actually got with Tetris for $20. That was, I remember I was so incredibly happy when I found that. Yeah, I think I got it so cheap because the guy just didn't. The guy who sold it to me had no idea or conception of video games. You could tell. So when I asked about the Game Boy, he was just like, with Tetris still inside it, and I even showed that it had Tetris to him. He said, $20. And I was like, $20? 20 big ones? Okay. And for an original Game Boy, I'll take it. And yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Holy, that's very nostalgic. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of do buy old games when I find them every now and then because I do have a means to play them. And I think they're really and I like physical media. I technically am a person that does value and like physical media. So yeah. Yeah. I do have some Game Boy games now, some Nintendo a good portion of Nintendo DS games, a good portion of Nintendo Game Boy Advance games, and I want to say 50 or 60 Nintendo 64 games. Yeah. 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 I mean, but yeah. The only thing, yeah, that's what I got. And technically I do have, that's what I got. And technically, I don't know if you would consider it retro, but I technically also have, an Xbox 360 that I have not used in a while as well. I mean, nothing is wrong on your end, it's just my internet acting up or something. So don't fret when I reply to something you said minutes ago. Sorry. Oh no, you're fine, Miku Jazz. You're fine. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm sorry that you have to deal with the delay. I'm very sorry but but don't worry. Don't worry. I got it. I understand. Um, I got a weird Legend of Zelda, like, wait, I got a weird, very good deal. Yeah, I know, right? Again, I was so happy when I managed to get not only the Game Boy, but a Game Boy and a game for 20 bucks. And oh my gosh, and I just remembered. And before you ask, yes, with batteries included. What a deal. What a deal. But I got a weird Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening. Wait, a weird Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I'm not too familiar with Legend of Zelda games, actually. Legend of Zelda games, I've actually not played any of them. I'm going to be honest, I've not played any of them. I've seen gameplay, but I've not played any of them. So I don't know how weird. I don't know how weird that is. And then, I don't know how weird that is. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. But I believe you, Tib. I sold all my old consoles to GameStop for pennies many years ago, and I regret it. I didn't realize I would miss them. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand why some people I understand why some people sell them, I suppose. I just never sold them because it just never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind. Even when my Nintendo Game Boy Advance stopped working, I didn't think of getting rid of it because, I mean, even if it doesn't work, it is cool to have. It is cool to look at. But not only that, but that Game Boy Advance was technically my first ever gaming anything. That was my first handheld and my first ever actual gaming thing that I got. And that is where I played my first ever game as well. My first ever video game. Which was, I don't know if any of you have ever played it, but it was the, it was the Game Boy Advance, Rugrats and Thornberry game. It was like a Rugrats game for the Game Boy Advance with the Rugrats and Thornberries. Like that one movie that came out in like the 90s, I think, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't always like this, but it became corrupted. Are you talking about the Legend of Zelda game? Are you talking about the Legend of Zelda game, or are you talking about the stream delay? Because it could be either or at this. It could be either or at this point. Well, with the delay and all, with the delay and all. But yeah. Oh, right. I had something very, very admittedly embarrassing to talk to you Deetons about. Pertaining to one of my gaming systems or handhelds, I guess you could say. So I have a Nintendo DS. I have a Nintendo DS Lite, and it still works, still functions. That was like the first ever that was the first ever handheld that was ever bought for me. The Game Boy Advance was handed down. The Nintendo DS Lite was actually bought for me, and I even remember how much it cost back then. It was $70 back then. I absolutely enjoyed that Nintendo DS Lite to the fullest. But believe it or not, I never knew and this is going to be really embarrassing. This is going to be very, very incredibly embarrassing. I still kind of can't believe it when I think about it. I never knew you could play Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo DS Lite until I was an adult. Until I was an adult. until I had already grown up and and no longer even used my Nintendo DS Lite like I did when I was a lot younger. That's when I found out that I could. and I literally found it out through a YouTube video because I was looking at a YouTube video explaining the differences between the different Game Boys and the DS's. And it was going over all the features. And it was going over that feature where it has a cartridge at the bottom of the Nintendo DS Lite where you can plug in these Game Boy Advance cartridges. And I remember seeing it as a child. And I never knew what it was for. And I remember I just stood there. I remember I just sat there stunned, bamboozled and kerfuzzled when that YouTube video told me that I could have been playing my Game Boy Advance games this whole time. And I didn't even know. And I probably still wouldn't even know if I hadn't watched that video. Which is embarrassing to say. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. You guys have been saying quite a few things. Instead of starting with nothing, I get the magic sword, a level 0 sword, an empty ocarina, and a level 0 bracelet. Oh, and I'm guessing you're not supposed to start with that in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I'm guessing you're not supposed to start with that, and you do somehow because it's corrupted. Fascinating. I remember my friend had a Game Boy Advance with the Advance War strategy game. I was jealous of how good it looked compared to my Game Boy Color. Oh, right. Oh, right, because the Game Boy Advance came after the Game Boy Color. Yeah, I've seen how a Game Boy Color looks, and I've seen how a Game Boy Advance looks, and it's understandable. At the time, it's understandable. I don't blame you, but yeah. But realistically, they both have their charm. Their own respective charm. I've never had a Game Boy Advance myself, but DS was my beloved. I adore my Nintendo DS Lite. Yeah. With a passion. Especially now that I actually have a lot more use for it, because oh gosh. I don't know. I just realized I still looked worried. Especially because now I actually know that I can play Game Boy Advance games on it, and so now I actually have much more of a reason to use it. Because I'd already played all of my Nintendo DS games. All of them. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Nintendo DS, but I swear, every single time I've looked for Nintendo DS games, none of them look really that interesting. I don't know. I don't know why. They just I don't know if Nintendo DS just really did not get very many good ones, or if I'm literally just looking in all the wrong places. It might be that, honestly. But, yeah. Because with Game Boy games, I find a lot of really, really good ones, or ones that really, really strike my attention, and with the Nintendo DS, it's just not that. I don't know why. And probably something else, but I'm not near it, so I don't know. Yay, batteries included. I kept needing to buy weird tiny batteries off Amazon. I keep needing to buy weird tiny batteries off Amazon lately. Oh, oh, the yeah. I don't know why, but when you say weird tiny batteries, I imagine like those like batteries, the lithium batteries I think they're called, that are kind of shaped like coins, that kind of look like coins. I don't know. That's what I'm imagining when you say weird, tiny batteries. Also, I remember when I bought the Game Boy, I completely forgot that the original Game Boy, actually still used batteries. I forgot. I completely forgot about that fact. Oh boy. My favorite game was a Game Boy Advance game. It's Mega Man Battle Network 3, Blue. I've never heard of that game. Mega Man Battle Network 3, Blue. I'm going to have to look that up because I know what Mega Man is. Wait. Mega Man. Wait. Mega Man is called I got it. Mega Man Battle Network 3 Blue. I'm going to need to remember that for research. The touchscreen was sort of a gimmick that was so obsolete for the touchscreen was sort of a gimmick that was an obstacle for developers, I think. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. The touchscreen, I can see why the touchscreen would be kind of a challenge to kind of tackle, because and from what I hear, there were a lot of games that didn't tackle the touchscreen very well. They didn't tackle it very effectively. Effectively, they didn't make good use of it. But yeah, original Game Boy had 4 AA batteries, if I remember. Yeah, just 4 AA batteries. Yeah, I need to remember to take them out when I'm not using it, because from what I hear, it's recommended to like take the batteries out of the Game Boy if you're not gonna use it for like an extended period of time. And I might do that after stream, actually. I might do that after stream while it's still fresh in my head, because I've been meaning to do that, and I just get sidetracked and scatterbrained, and it just never happens. So I'm going to probably do that, because because eventually I know that batteries do degrade. If you don't use them, they do degrade. So I'm going to probably do that. Although technically the last time that I played with it, I played Dr. Mario, and that was like a month and a half ago, something like that. But yeah, oh, also, did you ever play multiplayer with the link cables? It was very fun playing Pokemon multiplayer. You could battle your Pokemon against your friend's Pokemon. I had heard about that. I've seen videos about that, and I know about that, but I myself never got to actually do that. Also because I mentioned earlier in the stream, I technically have not played any of the Pokemon games, like the actual ones. I never actually got to play them. These technically are my first Pokemon games. And I also said earlier how I told one of my IRL friends this, and he actually my IRL friend actually was like, gosh, I mean, he was like, oh my gosh, I mean, that's great that you're playing Pokemon, you know, I'm very happy about that, but you couldn't have played like one of the regular ones, one of the, like the first, like you couldn't have picked red or blue, like something actually, like, you know, like in one of the actual ones. And I just looked at him and I said, but silly Pokemon ROM hacks, can you blame me? Yeah. Anyway, Happy New Year, small friend. Oh, hello, John Marquez. Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Um, yeah, I hope you're having a good New Year. I hope you're having so far. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, but Happy New Year to you too. How are you? Wait, yeah, okay. Um, but how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? How are things with you going? Um, yeah, those button cell batteries. Yeah, yeah. The lithium ones. Yeah, the little. I always think they just look like coins. They really do just look like coins to me. They really. I call them the coin batteries sometimes. Yeah, but you've been having fun? Yeah, I've been having a pretty good time, I would say. I hope we'll I hope I've I'm almost kind of getting close to wrapping up the stream though, if I'm going to be completely honest. um um yeah, yeah. I'm kind of almost getting ready to wrap up the stream. um yeah. But I've had a very good time. I've been having a very good time. Yeah. I hope um because I do have a video to work on and stuff of that nature. I I have a video to work on and then I also have to make the thumbnail for it. But the good thing is I already have that kind of planned out. I just kind of for the thumbnail I kind of just need to kind of figure out how it's like I have an idea. I just need to actually kind of kind of fine tune the idea. That yeah, that's it. But yeah, yeah. But I was going to kind of wrap up stream very soon. Um, yeah. Plus, I also have certain other things that I need to do around the lab, the lab. Um, but yeah. Um, but Be honest with me, my dearest degenerates. Did you guys enjoy the first ever stream of this year? Disclosure of this year. Gosh. I hope so. I hope all of you degens had fun. I hope all of you degens had fun. Because I know I did. um I'll be back. There'll be another stream next week. Yeah. I just don't know when. If Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It could be either or, who knows? But I missed most of it, but you seem happy, so I assume it went well. Yeah, it did. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about Pokemon ROM hacks. We talked about my exceptional, might I add, flattering. No, that's not the word. Might I add, visually stunning present wrapping skills, as you can see down there. And we also talked about retro games and oh yeah, and cute outfits and measuring tapes at one point. But yeah, truly, I would say we jibber jabber. Truly, I would say we jibber jabbered, and we and we and we and we and we chatted and talked nonsense. The goal has been achieved for this stream. Yeah, but I had a really good time. In all seriousness, I had a really good time. Yeah, 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 yeah. But how does how does sudden flash? Wait, how does sudden flashback to my Sega Game Gear? It ate through batteries so fast. Sega Game Gear. Sega Game Gear. I never hear anybody talk about the Sega Game Gear. It's kind of like, you know what I was thinking earlier this week? Nobody ever talks about the PSP anymore. Like the PSP is like one of those things that I kind of forget exists, but every now and then it kind of gets brought back up, or it kind of just surges in my head randomly, and I'm like, oh yeah, that did exist. That did exist. Yeah, that did exist. Um, it was always very it was always kind of, when I was a lot younger, it was a very it was kind of very odd for me to handle, because I remember I knew somebody that had one, and I could never wrap my head around how you kind of used it. because again, I had a Nintendo DS Lite, and that was like my main one. That was like my main guy. That was like, yeah. I was so used to Nintendo that I kind of just didn't know. But yeah. And plus I was very young, so yeah. Anyway. I never hear anybody talk about the GameCube also, now that I think about it, but yeah. Although the GameCube is kind of one of those that I hear a lot of good things about, but they're so hard to find now. Anyway, I should probably wrap up stream, because I do have some things that I need to tend to. I hope all of you degens had fun, my dearest degenerates. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for being with me on this stream, the first ever stream of this year. Yeah, there'll be another stream next week. Yeah. Yeah. Happy New Year to all of you, and yeah. Let's hope that there's lots of research to be had this year. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I hope you all have a fantabulistic, plaptastic day. Yeah. Bye a fantabulistic, plaptastic day. Yeah. Bye everybody. Bye everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Wait. Okay. Oh, wait. All right. Good stream. Goodbye, and have a good year. Well, don't say it like that, Tip. That makes it seem like you're. Well, don't say it like that, Tip. That makes it seem like you're just going to. That makes it seem like you're not going to be here for the rest of the year. Don't say it like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. But okay. Hopefully I'll be here more next stream. Bye. Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, hopefully. But yeah, fantabulistic, plaptastic day. Bye everybody. Bye.